So I normally don't post talking videos on this account. Normally I'm posting videos of me playing games on here, but this is just a serious video that I need to make, that I need to, that's something that I need to talk about that's really serious. And so, yeah, as I was walking home yesterday night, I was getting harassed on the street by a bully as I was walking home. And so I'm going to get into that later. That's like basically the modern bullying that I'm in, harassment that I'm going through in modern times. But I'm going to basically start off talking about my severe bullying and harassment that I endured when I was a teenager through the years of 2014 through 17. So those years were like hell for me with all the bullying and harassment that I endured. And even illegal things were done to me later, so it was really serious. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that and just go over my experiences. And I don't think bullying gets talked about enough, and it's very serious. Like it causes people to have self-esteem issues. It causes people to have problems with their mental health. It causes trauma. It causes people to commit suicide. I mean, it's really serious, like what this shit does to people, Like I said, it causes self-esteem issues, mental health problems, trauma, suicides. I mean, it's really serious what this shit is doing to people. And it doesn't get talked about enough. People don't take it serious enough. And it's really sad, that there's so much goddamn hatred in the world. Like, I wish it would stop, that it would get better. But there's a lot of people that let things that have happened to them define them, and that's not who I am. I've never let the things define me. I've been through hell and back, and I've never let that shit define me. But a lot of people have let when someone's mean to someone, that changes them, and they let that define them. So yeah. And usually people who bully, they're people who don't feel good about themselves, that are going through hardships themselves, that just want to put people down to feel better about themselves. And there's also people as well who bully for the sake of, they just want to fit in. And, that's literally what one person that I was friends with had admitted to. He said, I just wanted to fit in. That's why I helped your bully you, And so in this video, I'm going to talk about my previous bullying that I went through when I was a teen, and I just want to let this be known that I'm not here to start up drama. I'm not here to provoke anybody. I'm not here to cause any drama. I'm not here to like rile people up, provoke anyone, start drama. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to talk about experiences and shit like that, and just on the topic of bullying. So yeah, don't take it the wrong way, and that's not what I'm here to do. So I just want to talk about experiences, and yeah, so basically in 2014 through 17, those were the years that my severe bullying and harassment were taking place. And so in 2014, I joined this community where we all share a common interest in Halloween animatronics. So like, we all have an interest in buying and collecting Halloween animatronics. So, for example, the animatronics from Spirit Halloween, which is now a mainstream store. It wasn't as mainstream back then, and the community was small back then. But now the Halloween community has grown exponentially compared to what it was back in the day. And I was one of the early members. But yeah, we all shared an interest in Halloween animatronics and buying, collecting, and videoing Halloween animatronics from Spirit Halloween. So we all had a passion for that shit. So basically, me and this haunter became friends through YouTube, where he left a comment on my Pop-Up Werewolf Halloween prop demo, right? And so we were friends for a while, and we would have calls on Skype, back when Skype was a big deal. I mean, now people are using, like, Discord nowadays. Skype is, like, a thing of the past. People don't use Skype anymore to, like, text or video call or voice call anymore. Now it's Discord. But back then, Skype was huge with my community and the people that I talked to. And a lot of drama happened on Skype, of all places. It was YouTube and Skype. That's kind of like all the social media that I had back then, at least in 2014 and 15, right? So Me and this haunter, like I said, were friends for a while, and we would have calls on Skype, and then after a while, I was in conflict with this other haunter in the community called Chris, and basically this haunter, he took sides with this other haunter. So yeah, the haunter took sides with Chris, and he was insulting me, right? And I can't remember what he was saying, but he was basically insulting me. He even tried to get me to make a video. Well, he did take a video. Sorry, he took a video, right? He was secretly recording me and making me admit that I lied about Chris, and I don't remember what the hell he was like referring to. What was I lying about? I don't know. I mean, but like the haunter was trying to get me to admit that I lied about Chris, and I don't know what I lied about, and I likely didn't lie at all. But he was like the haunter was trying to get me to admit that I lied about Chris, and so yeah, that's the first fallout that I had with this haunter. And shortly after, he made a video titled "To Eric So 2000." This video was basically a manipulation tactic to try to get me to feel sorry for him and try to get me to forgive him and to get back onto my side. So it was, he was saying things like, I'm getting kicked and punched in school, and he just regretted like taking Chris's side and that he was nice and everything. And yeah, so I won't be including To Eric So 2000 in this video. There's like very limited media that I'm going to include in here, but there's some things I'll include and some things I won't. But To Eric So 2000 was a manipulation tactic video that the haunter posted to try to get me to feel sorry for him and try to get back onto my side and try to get me to be friends with him. Me being gullible back then, I forgave him. I forgave him when we became friends again, right? And granted, that didn't last very long. Sorry, I was looking at my notepad and my brain fogged up. Please excuse this. My cognitive is bad. I'm depressed, obviously, and I'm getting lack of sleep, and I'm on like gabapentin that's affecting my cognitive. But basically, yeah, our reunite wouldn't last that long because there was one point where the haunter thought, I'm going to make a sick joke. According to him, this was a supposed joke. And he said that, like, he told me to basically kill my Oma as a joke. And he thought that was funny, and that was just some harmless joke. And so I was pissed off. That was a sick joke, and I ended up blocking him on Skype. And from there, me and that haunter, we were done. We weren't friends anymore. And from there, things just kind of hit the fan, and that's when the bullying and harassment really rolled in. So, the haunter would go on to do sick things, manipulative things. Aside from that To Eric So 2000, the haunter would go on to hurt himself, and then he would blame me on YouTube, saying that like I was sent to a mental hospital due to my responsibility, saying that due to my responsibility he was sent to a mental hospital. And he also posted an image of self-mutilation. He posted an image, and the caption was like, Eric So 2000 made me do this to myself. 2 weeks healed. He's responsible. And no one took his side for that, obviously. Everyone was just against him. And no one took his side, thankfully. And he was saying that I'm responsible for his scars. So, like, he was a very manipulative person, Like, he would go on to, like, mock a video I made of, he would go on to mock a video I made of me mourning my deceased grandfather. There was a video I made in 2014. My grandfather passed away in September of that year, right? And so I made a video of me mourning my grandfather, my Opa, who had passed away. And he would go on to mock the video, and this video was basically a meme in my community. So it wasn't just that haunter. There was other haunters in the community making fun of it. There was people on my side who turned their backs on me and stuff and were like making fun of me. But that video of me mourning my deceased Opa became a meme in the community with that haunter and among other haunters. And, like, there was yeah, so like that was a meme, and a certain line from the video was getting mocked. I'm not gonna say it here, but like it was getting mocked. Like I said, he would mock the video, and other haunters in the community would mock it. There was tons of media posted off of me that was poking fun at me, from photos, from videos. The Grandpa Died video that I made, was literally featured in, in videos poking fun at me. And so the haunter would upload videos to his YouTube channel that were like poking fun at me, making fun of me, basically. And there was this loyal friend, loyal haunter in the community to me. His name was Braden, and he would file copyright infringements on those videos that the haunter uploaded about me, and they would get taken down because obviously the videos would have clips from my videos, and so Braden was successful with his copyright infringements when he would file them, and YouTube would take the videos down, and eventually the haunter got his YouTube channel terminated. And yeah, so like I said, the videos that were posted poking fun at me had clips of my actual videos. So Braden was successful with his copyright infringements back then. And yeah, so like there's, so it doesn't sound like it's to that severe right now, but it's going to get a lot worse. But yeah, it started out kind of not as bad, but it was still bullying and harassment nonetheless. And it just gets worse from here. It just gets worse as time moves forward. But yeah, Braden was a loyal haunter. He was basically my best friend in the community, and he would defend me against like the haunter and anyone else that was trying to like bully me and harass me and upset me. And so he was a very loyal person to me back then. Um, so yeah. So in 2015, I would go to produce a lengthy rant about this haunter, which didn't end well. And the reason why this didn't end well was because of people in the community were friends with this haunter, and they were friends with this haunter, and they looked up to him. They liked him and stuff, and I took an aggressive approach on the video. I was basically cussing him out. I exposed him for everything he did to me, and I was cussing him out on YouTube, basically, and he didn't like that. It pissed him off, and he got aggressive towards me after that. But yeah, I was exposing him, I was cussing him out, and the video was totally justified. I didn't deserve the backlash that I got in the video where, because, I mean, he deserved, like, that video was deserved, where I exposed him and was, lashing out. I mean, my anger was justified for what he had done to me up to that point. But yeah, like, I made a rant video, and from that point, like I was getting a lot of backlash. The video got a lot of dislikes. It got a lot of negative comments. And again, the video was an aggressive approach. It's not like this video where it's more so kind of like passive aggressive. But I was aggressive in the video, and it made the drama worse, and it angered the haunter. Like I said, you got lots of negative feedback from people who were friends with him and all thought well of him. So eventually, I thought, from the bullying and harassment and the feedback that I got from the video, I decided to delete my YouTube channel, and I left YouTube. So, I was tired of getting the backlash, from the bullying and the harassment and the backlash from the video I made exposing him. So what I did was I ended up deleting my YouTube channel, and I was in hiding on Skype. And so it just never ended, man. I mean, I was literally hiding on Skype. I didn't have a YouTube channel anymore. I was hiding from this haunter. And, I remember one of the names that I had on Skype was like Pineapple Fanta Fan or something. And, I was just trying to hide on Skype. Like, I was trying to get away from that shit. And, he would just trace my IP and find my hidden Skype account, and I would just had no ability to to like hide, and I just couldn't ever be at peace. You know, I was just constantly, relentlessly just bullied and harassed, and it was terrible, you know. And so, yeah, like I said, you know, I had like ridiculous names on Skype when I was trying to hide, and I wouldn't be able to hide. All right, so for some reason I deleted my channel in October of 2014, right? So I came back around the holidays. I might have, excuse me, I may have deleted my second YouTube channel in October of 2015 because I believe I came back during the holidays of 2015, so I may have deleted my YouTube. I said 2014, it might actually be 2015 that I deleted my second channel due to the bullying and harassment and the backlash I received for the rant that I posted on the Haunter. But I came back around the holidays. I would shortly delete my channel again, and I was in hiding on a Facebook account. I didn't use my real name or anything, but I was in hiding on a Facebook account, and my YouTube channel was gone, obviously. In 2016, it was the worst year of the bullying. It was the most severe that it ever had been, and I will get into that next. But like this Haunter bully went crazy that year. You know, he got brutal on me, and I'm going to get into that next. And that was the most stressful and traumatic year of the bullying that I went through, hands down. And yeah, so this is probably the point in the video where I'm going to start attaching media. And so, yeah. So, like I said, I was in hiding on a Facebook account in 2016. My YouTube channel was gone. Worst year for the bullying in 2016 was for me, and the Haunter was the most aggressive, and all of my once Haunter friends were against me. They were all bullying me, they were all against me, and I was all alone. I was all alone going through basically the worst bullying of my entire life. There was a friend that I had in high school. Shout out to Eric Bernal for defending me back in 2015 from that Haunter and other Haunters who were attacking me and bullying me and harassing me. And so, shout out to Eric Bernal. He was like, he was kind of like one of my only friends that I had in high school. But like, he was like defending me, and I thank him for what he did back then in 2015. So big thank you to Eric Bernal if he ever sees this. Thank you for defending me back then, man. You know, and because basically all the Haunters that were once my friends and that were once on my side were against me, and they were bullying me. They were not on my side anymore. They were all with this Haunter. And so, yeah, I also forgot to mention that this Haunter brought law enforcement to my house. And this happened again, too. I mean, it happened in, I think it was 2015. Law enforcement came to my house again. But he brought law enforcement to my house. And they were claiming that they were CPS. And so, yeah, I mean, it was crazy, man. He brought the cops to my house, to my doorstep. And it happened in 2015 as well. But I think it wasn't the Haunter. I think it was maybe Braden who contacted the clinic in Kansas because he was concerned about my health and what I was doing to myself. So I think it was Braden who actually did that, and he was concerned for me, which I totally get it. I mean, I was mad at him back then, but like he was just concerned for my well-being, and like, you know, which I totally get it, you know. But yeah. So, like I said, 2016 was absolutely the worst year when it came to bullying. That was the most severe bullying that I had ever went through in my entire life. And that was my breaking point. And I'm going to get into why. So, like, everyone turned on me back then. I had no one, basically, at that point. Everyone turned on me, right? All my once friends were against me, and they were bullying me and with that Haunter. So, in the past, when me and this haunter were friends, I ended up sending him some gifts, and so he had my address. And so there was a live stream that he did on his channel where he would go on to send unpaid for pizza to my doorstep. Yeah, literally unpaid for pizza at my damn doorstep. And my family was all confused. They're like, "Where the hell did this?" Uh, they literally thought that I ordered it, even I was confused back then. I'm like, "Where the hell did this come from?" Because I didn't order it. And then it quickly came to like realization. Oh yeah, maybe that haunter did it. And then I saw the live stream on YouTube of him literally on Pizza Hut's website creating the pizza, sending it to my house. And this didn't just happen once, it happened twice. And the second time that it happened, I'm going to attach an image of the pizza. But second time, it was over like 4 boxes of stuff. I mean, it was crazy, man. 4 boxes of stuff and like a Diet Pepsi. So like he was just sending unpaid for pizza to my house. And yeah, so and someone who was another like another loyal person that was on my side who turned his back on me. Um, by this point in time, Braden had also turned his back on me, sadly. But like this other haunter turned his back on me. He was telling the haunter stuff to put on the pizza, like stuff that he thought that I disliked to put on the pizza. And it's like, instead of that point of saying, okay, hey man, you're going too far, you need to stop, because you're reaching illegal territory, right? He just was laughing and was just encouraging it, and it's messed up to see somebody that you once thought was your friend turn their back on you and is just, you know, helping a bully like do stuff like that to you. And like, so, I mean, all of that was so much like trauma for me, and I was so stressed back then, and I was depressed, and just all of that stuff was weighing me down, you know. And like, so yeah, the haunter was sending pizza to my doorstep from Pizza Hut, and yeah, so that was crazy. That was literally illegal. Um, and so I want to, so there was also another point, and this was my breaking point because my privacy had been invaded, and so this was my breaking point. So the haunter would also go on to literally log into my hidden Facebook account. And this is where Braden kind of really, yeah, it was a pretty supersized betrayal at that point. Since Braden was kind of like on this haunter's side and like part of the others who were like bullying me and all this, he ended up giving the haunter my login credentials. And unfortunately, back then, I would, I'd have the same login credentials for things, and just, word of wisdom, don't do that. Have different passwords on websites. Don't use the same password for everything, because somebody gets your login credentials to one thing, they have access to everything else. And so that's what ended up happening. So like, yeah, me and Braden would have each other's like login credentials. We were really close friends. And he ended up just betraying me and giving that to the haunter, in which the haunter logged into my Facebook account, and he was going through my messages, sending messages to the people that I was friends with. And we were having a war on Facebook. We were locking each other out of the Facebook account. We were having a literal war on the Facebook account, of locking each other out. And so it was really crazy back, during that whole thing. Really crazy, really stressful. I was pushed to my breaking point. But yeah, he was going through my messages. He was sending messages to people that I was friends with. So my privacy was completely invaded at that point. The haunter ended up logging into my email account, and I think he removed my email from my Facebook account. And yeah, so like, yeah, he basically had access to my email. That's how we kept locking each other out of the Facebook account until like eventually um the haunter would go on to like change my security question on my email. And I could have lost that email account forever had I not guessed that security question, which was literally his name. I don't know why he put his name for the security question. I was like, what is your best friend? And he put his name. Don't know why he put that, but hey, I mean, I guessed it and I got back in. So I got extremely lucky in that situation. I could have lost my email for good. And, the other haunters in the community were like genuinely starting to feel bad for me because of what this haunter was doing to me, because he was just going way off the rails, going way out of line, doing illegal things. And like when they saw that video of me just breaking down and like wanting, I made a video breaking down saying that I just want a peaceful life. I want the bullying to stop. I don't want to be bullied anymore. And it was, I mean, people were in the haunters in the community were starting to feel bad for me upon seeing that video. And like they also felt bad when like this haunter was logged into my Facebook and my email, and that he also had plans to cancel an active Spirit Halloween order that I had going. He had plans to do that, from what I heard. And so yeah, that was my breaking point. That night was so stressful, and man, it was terrible for me. But yeah, um, supersized betrayal from Braden, and the haunter had was invaded my privacy at that point. And yeah, so after that whole incident, I ended up just deleting deactivating the Facebook account, and I made an entirely new one. And my email, I still have that same email today, but I was so paranoid from that shit that I literally ended up opening 3 different email accounts. So it's like so paranoid about that shit after that happened that I ended up making 3 new emails on Yahoo, because I was like, that was terrible, man. And I was so on edge after that. I was always afraid of of being hacked. I was so on edge from when that happened. I actually wrote about that in school, like the Facebook hacking. I actually ended up writing about that on Word, about the whole incident that happened. And it was scary too, because I was just like watching videos on my laptop in the middle of the night, minding my own business, and then all of a sudden, the haunter is inside my Facebook account just sending messages, and it was crazy. I was like, what? That was such a stressful and scary and traumatic experience. It really was, man. But moving on to what this haunter did to me and experiences that I had with bullying and harassment. It just doesn't stop there. Um, at one point, so the haunter would do live streams and stuff. And at one point, the haunter would go as far as doxing me. Yes, I was doxed on a live stream. I got doxed on a live stream by this haunter. And what he was doing, right, was he was viewing my house on Google Maps, right? He was viewing the front of my house on Google Maps. And obviously he had my address because I sent him gifts in the past. That's how he was viewing my house, and also how he had sent the pizza to my house. I remember watching the live stream on YouTube, and I was just shocked out of my mind about what I was seeing. Like, I was literally like doxxed on that was crazy, man. Literally insane. With what I was seeing. And yeah, he was, like I said, viewing my house on Google Maps, and he was making fun of the bushes. He also mentioned back then, Google Plus isn't a thing anymore. Google Plus is dead. Hangouts is dead, so that's not a thing anymore. Those things aren't a thing anymore. But he was also he also mentioned in the live stream that he wanted to set my house as his wallpaper on Google Plus. So that was really messed up, man. I mean, That was really just messed up, you know. So yeah, there were in 2016 there were illegal things happening to me. Moving on, because it doesn't end there. No, it doesn't. So there was a point. Obviously, I talked about how there was a lot of media posted about me, poking fun at me, and shit. And I'm not really going to include any of that in the video. I'm not going to include any of that in the video, but you can private message me if you want to see any of the media. But there was a point in time where this haunter made a fake Eric 2000 off of me, and he was pretending to be me. He was leaving comments on videos pretending to be me and acting like I had returned to YouTube when in reality I was still in hiding on Facebook. I had not come back to YouTube. But yeah, he was pretending to be me. He made a fake Eric 2000 and he posted some of my videos on the channel. He was leaving comments, literally pretending to be me. Of course, people didn't believe it. They knew it wasn't me. They knew it was a fake Eric. But what happened, in order to like remove that channel, this was back when obviously I didn't have a real ID because I was a minor. So what I had to do was I had to like show YouTube my school ID. I had to show send a photo of you to YouTube of my school ID, and thus from that they ended up deleting the channel. But yeah, I had to like show them my school ID in order for them to delete the channel. You know, so yeah, I ended up getting, so the channel did end up getting deleted, thankfully, but still was crazy that happened too, and I'm going to attach images of that in the video of when I was impersonated. In 2017, that was the final year of the bullying, basically. I would make a return video to YouTube, but at that point, you know, I had to make a video kind of sucking up to everyone, and I had to like try to be as calm, you know, as passive aggressive as possible to like not rile anyone up or make anyone like angry, you know, not make anyone aggressive towards me because I wanted to remain on YouTube and I didn't want to get bullied and harassed and attacked. So I had to like kind of suck it up back then, unfortunately. And yeah, but before I had came back to YouTube, there were haunters in the community that wanted me to come back to YouTube. There were, like I said, there were haunters that wanted me to come back to YouTube. And so there was a channel that was made called Project Get Eric Back. And it was basically a channel where there was two haunters that were trying to get me to come back to YouTube, and they mentioned there was more people part of the project, of that whole thing. And I will attach the video that that the two haunters made. So I'll attach the video that was made.
Greetings, it is us. We want to talk about on how we want to get Eric back, and we want to just say why we want him back and what we did wrong. Would you like to go ahead?
With me, what we did wrong.
Well, we could have obviously stayed away from the memes. That's one thing we should have stayed away from, was the memes.
Yeah. And, I mean, we did a lot of things wrong. I mean, even if Eric is watching this, I mean, you know there's something wrong with him mentally, you know?
Yes.
And, like, even, I think Eric himself knows that too, even though that might offend him, but I'm just trying to defend him.
Yes, we're trying to... This is not... Either way, I want to let this be known that we don't want to stop being friends with anyone, no matter if you're an enemy with Eric or even friends with Eric. We don't want this to be a side-choosing thing. But if it will come down to this, then we will we will decide who was right and who was wrong.
I guess. And I don't even. The one thing that we made fun of that I really drew the line at that put me on Eric's side was the my grandpa died video and all the hate that got.
That was absolutely not necessary for the hate that that video got. I mean, it's a serious thing, and I'm sorry for saying, yeah, it's pretty sad, for all this stupid stuff, for saying in that stupid live stream that I hate, that I hated you, because I don't. You're a very good person, Eric, and we'd love to have you back, and that's what we're wanting.
Yes.
We don't want to choose any sides, and we don't want to give out our names because we don't want this drama to unfold entirely, per se. Would you like to say anything before I go off?
I know we're gonna get a ton of hate.
We don't care.
And I know, there's more people in this group than you think.
Yes, there's quite a bit of people, and hopefully they'll be on the video soon.
We kind of thought this through before we started the channel, so it's not just us two. There's other people, quite a few.
Join the movement. If you'd like to join the movement, just put hashtag Project Get Eric Back. That's all we want.
Back on to 2017 when I returned and I made that video. The haunter would leave a comment on the video saying that, like, we hated you until it had no meaning. And then he would go on to, shortly after, like, leave some rude comments all over my videos. I'd, like, wake up in the morning before school and I'd see these, like, comments on my videos, like, that were just, that were rude and just, trying to get a rise out of me, obviously. And, he also would go on a disliking spree on all my videos, and this haunter said a lot of messed up things too. He that same year would use a fake account to wish death upon my dog. My dog basically had liver cancer that year, and he had to be put down. And the same day that he left that comment saying, like, I hope he dies or whatever, like, my Benji, my dog, had been put down. And, like, kind of some random things. So we're kind of wrapping up all the bullying and harassment that I went through back then. To wrap things up, random things that the haunter kind of just said were that, like, he would end his life on my doorstep when he was 30. Very random and also very just fucked up at the same time. He would also say that he would curse me to have a nightmare about my dead Opa, and he said that he would also laugh when my Oma would pass away. So, this is basically everything that happened 2014 through 2017 with my severe bullying and harassment. That was very traumatic to me. That definitely caused trauma. Is very stressful for me back then, and so thankfully all that ended years ago. And I've back then, I would always tell Braden when we were friends, and which I am friends with Braden again, but I would say that we would forever be angry with these people. That I was someone who held grudges back then. I didn't want to forgive people that hurt me, and I was someone who, like, I was young, so it made sense, but, like, I was someone who held grudges and didn't want to forgive people that hurt me. But as in modern times, I have forgiven everyone that wronged me back then. So, like, the haunters that were once my friends who turned their back on me, to team up with the other haunter. I became friends with them again. I'm basically kind of on good terms with this haunter that I talked about in the video. We're not in drama anymore, So it's kind of a thing of the past now. The drama's a thing of the past. I made amends with all the people that hurt me back in the day, and yeah, so I forgave them. And a lot of the media, like I kind of find, like it really pissed me off back then, but I also find a lot of the media kind of like amusing nowadays. But yeah, a lot of media was posted about me, man. That if you want to see it, definitely message me because I'll provide it to you. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, I went through hell and back, and I came out on top. You know, and that's not even all the fucking shit that I've suffered in my life. There's other things that have definitely taken a toll on me that I'm not going to talk about in this video, but like that's something that was very traumatic, and but like that doesn't end there. There's just stuff that I'm not going to talk about here, but like I've been through hell and back and came out on top, and I'm a very strong person mentally. I'm very resilient. I am not someone who've actually even turned to crutches to cope with mental health and stuff. So I find myself gifted in that way, not to brag out there or try to call anyone weak or anything like that, but I'm a strong and resilient person to have survived all this and being alone through so much of it. I was alone through so much of it, through the worst of it. And like I said, I had Eric Bernal in high school, and big thank you to him. Big shout out to Big E for having my back then and defending me and shit. But I was still really all alone. I really didn't have friends in school, and I didn't have family that I could talk to about this shit. Like my father was out of my life since I was an infant, and of course my grandfather passed when I was 14 years old. Didn't have any siblings or aunt or uncle or anything like that. And so I really was just all alone with this. But yeah, man, that stuff was very traumatic to me. And I'm just going to say, to the person who is doing this in modern times and following in his footsteps, you know who you are, and you should be ashamed. And, at this point, I've just, obviously, like, with all I've talked about in the video and my past bullying experience, I've grown a thicker skin to all this stuff. And to the people out there who are doing this stuff, I'm just not going to give you the time of day. Like I've been doing. I'm not been giving you guys the time of day. And I'm going to continue doing that, just so you know. Someone in the community who I was friends with, shout out to Mac Hauntformer, he would always tell me, he would always say, you got to ignore them. You can't give them a reaction. You can't give them what they want because they feed off of a reaction, and that's what they want. That it fuels the fire when you give them a reaction, when you give them what they want. And Mac couldn't be more right when he said, you can't give them, you got to ignore it. And Mac, you were so right, and I wish I had listened to you years ago when you said that, you got to ignore it, you can't feed into it. But me, back then, I didn't want to listen to him. I didn't want to ignore it. I wanted to lash out. I was very sensitive. I would get angry at small things, But, I mean, hell, I had every right to be angry back then, though, to be fair, because of all that shit that happened to me. Yeah, who the fuck wouldn't be angry? I mean, that stuff was horrible. I mean, stuff that I went through, that shit would traumatize anybody. And it definitely did me, and there's a lot of people that, if they went through that amount of bullying, that extreme of bullying, they would have taken the easy way out. It's sad to say, but there's a lot of people out there. That's why I say it's very serious. There's a lot of people out there who commit suicide over this stuff, and that's why it's very serious. That's why it's very serious, because like it just destroys people, and it pushes them down, to end it. And I'm very lucky that it didn't do that to me, that it didn't push me down to that point. But like I said, Mac, You were so right about what you said. And yeah, so like I said, I'm just not going to give you people that are doing this the time of day. So I know this video is not going to stop it. It's not going to stop what's going on. I know it's going to continue. I know that there's going to be people that are going to continue shouting at me while I'm walking outside and stuff when they see me. And, you know, I'm just going to not give you the time of day. Just keep in mind, because I'm done with this kind of bullshit, man. I've been through enough bullying. I'm fed up with it. I'm not gonna give you the time of day and give you what you want. That's all I'm gonna say. So um, if to the people that just want to continue this, go right ahead. Because just keep doing it, but just know that I won't give you the time. I won't give you the time of day. That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah. The thing is that, I know exactly why this stuff happens to me in particular. I know why it does. And people do this because they see me as the perfect candidate, the perfect target, the perfect person to pull this shit on, the perfect person to pull these antics on. Because they know, that I'm someone who's, like, when I'm always out there walking, I always take daily walks to cope with my mental health and to clear my head and to get fresh air and try to meet people. And so I'm always out. I'm always out there walking all the time. And people see, they see me by myself, and they see that I don't have friends with me. They see me as somebody they can target, and no one's going to have my back. No one's going to defend me. And so they see that as the perfect candidate. He's the perfect target. For perfect target for this. And another thing about me is the fact that I've always had trouble defending myself. That's always been, back in the day with the drama, I always relied on other people to fight my battles. Like I'd always rely on like Braden and people like that to fight my battles and have my back and all that stuff. And I was just not known to really be able to defend myself ever. Granted, I made a rant like basically chewing that Haunter out, and it pissed him off very much so. I'm still just very bad at that, unfortunately, and I need to work on improving that. I really do, because I just, and it not only you're not only the target for bullying and harassment and stuff like that, but you're also the target to like get used, by people. And I've had that happen to me. People who have tried to take advantage of my kindness because they know I'm a kind person. Which is shocking. Shocking as hell that I'm still nice considering everything that I went through and that I've been stomped on and been mistreated my whole life by people. And I'm still nice. I still care about other people. I still want to help other people. And I should be way past that point at this point. But yeah. Like I was saying, I've not only had people like target me because they see that I'm somebody who's like vulnerable and, they see me as some kind of perfect target to bully. But I've also been targeted because of my kindness, my generosity, that I'm too nice to say no to people, and I'm too kind for my own good, and I'm too generous. And it's true that gets you walked over like stairs. It does. If you don't have it in you to say no, to people, then you just get walked over, unfortunately. And I've learned that the hard way throughout life. I've had one person at one point who I got them a hoodie, and upon that, they tried to get a $100 Xbox gift card out of me, which was really fucked up. And they literally made up some sob story that their family was in a struggle, that they also tried to use my loneliness against me, saying that, hey, you buy me this Xbox gift card, I'll be your friend, I'll hang out with you and everything. So he knew that like I was lonely, and he could, use that to his advantage, which is fucked up. So like I'm saying, being too nice and being, someone who can't really stand up for themselves and stand their ground, it gets you walked over. And this is the same situation right here with why I'm getting targeted right now by these people, and why I was probably so heavily targeted in the past, and I really, really got to work on that, So, but yeah. Right, where I'm going to end the video off here. And yeah, so before I go, to anyone that sees this video that is getting bullied, my DMs are always open. Feel free to reach out to me, because trust me, I can understand this shit very well. So if there's any bully victims, people that have had experiences with getting bullied, my DMs are always open. And make a video, spread the word about bullying awareness, because this stuff is very serious. Like I said at the beginning of this video, about what it does to people, and what it can lead down, how bad it can get, and what it can lead down to making somebody do. So again, be the friend that somebody needs, and know when to draw the line with your friends. And if your friend is bullying somebody, even if it's hard to step in, please say something, and just don't let it happen. Be the friend somebody needs. Be the positive light somebody needs. Don't be the darkness. Don't be the negativity. Be the positive light that somebody needs. Be the friend that somebody needs. Be the person to help, be the person to help the person in need. So that's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to end the video here.